for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lisa Dixon. I do modeling, acting, and photography. I feel like I need to talk to people about depression and grief and what it's like to go through it from a first-person perspective. So I guess opening up, which is really hard for me to do, by the way. I've spent my entire life keeping to myself about my emotions because I don't want people to judge me or think that I'm not strong or to assume that I'm weak. So this is a new experience for me. So, there's been a lot of things on the news lately with famous people overdosing or killing themselves, not having a reason to live, that they're experienced depression, and depression is something at some point we all have to experience phases of depression, and other people live with it permanently as a part of their life. For me, it is a phase, I'm hoping, but we'll see. So to tell my story, in June, on the 10th of June of 2016, my little brother Jeff got hit by a water truck when he was driving my father's truck and died in a car accident. And 4 months later, on October 6th of 2016, my grandfather, who was my best friend, he's the person that I truly would go to for anything, and the person I admired the most. He was also the person that I look like. I look so much like him that I have to see myself every morning, and that's hard. But he passed away, and I came home to help my grandma because I didn't want her to stay alone in the shit. I stopped modeling and got a normal job, and it made me miserable. On top of already having depression, the boyfriend that I had at the time ended up cheating on me with not only one girl but two, which I later came to find out because one of the girls was very honest with me and opened up to me about what happened. And the other girl he is still, I believe, currently in a relationship with. I don't know. I don't follow him. Not worth my time. But he was my childhood best friend. He was actually my brother that passed away, his childhood best friend. And I had hit a very serious stage of my life of depression. I went home. I wrote to one of the girls, giving her all my apologies, all my love. Went to work, came back home, and started writing letters to everybody in my life, telling them what I wanted to leave behind for them, telling them that I love them. And as I got to like three very important people in my world, I realized that these souls are so good and they're so kind and they're so beautiful that I didn't want to leave them in this world alone. I wanted to be here to protect them, to love them, and give them the things that they deserve, and that by taking my life, it wouldn't be helping anybody. So I made the conscious decision not to, because I realized in the end that it's not worth it. By hurting myself, I hurt others, the people who do care. And those people love me. Well, I'd gotten over that depression. I had found myself again. I had traveled and experienced some amazing things in my life. And I finally felt complete again for the first time in over a year. It was in October of 2017 when I finally felt that I could be happy and be me, and it was okay to live life after losing people, and it was okay to enjoy things after they're not here anymore. Then, on April 8th of 2018, not that long ago, I was on set all day doing stand-in work, and then came home to my grandmother's house. Normally, my grandma's house, the back area would just smell like cigarettes. The kitchen would be a mess, and this was because of my older brother, Michael. But today, or that day, everything smelled clean, everything was clean. And I thought, well, this is nice, and then went upstairs not thinking anything of it. And then I was like, no, wait, that's weird. That's not normal. So I went back downstairs. I knocked on my brother's door and he didn't respond. I knocked louder and I yelled, Mike. He didn't answer. And then I tried to open the door. And I found my brother laying face down on his bed. The blood on his pillow. He didn't kill himself, but like, he was dead. I touched him and his skin was as cold as ice, and he just wasn't breathing. And at first, the initial shock of everything, I couldn't cry, I couldn't do anything. And it broke me pretty bad. Because not only was he my older brother, we were only 13 months apart. Like, he was my first friend. I did everything with him when we were kids. And I now had lost 2 out of 3 of my brothers. And there's nothing I could do to change that. Now I know with me, when I deal with grief, the 3rd and the 4th month are the hardest months for me. It's hard to have conversations with people without wanting to cry. It's hard to really listen to certain songs because no matter what those songs were, they're memories with them, and it destroys me. Which also leads me to having a really hard time eating, because when I'm depressed, I can't eat. I can't hold food down. I can't do that. And then I feel like it just adds to the instability of my mental health, which makes it harder to control things and harder to do things. So I try to force myself to go to the gym. I try to force myself to like be normal. And through this grief, I have lost people that I care about. I mean, it happens every time you realize who's strong enough to stay and take care of you, who's willing to hold your head above water and who isn't. And losing those people hurts more because they have a choice. They choose to leave, which makes you feel unworthy. It makes you feel like you don't deserve love and you don't deserve people to care about you. And you constantly question what's wrong with you. I'm not making this video because I want you guys to feel sorry for me. I'm making this video because I want people to understand the pain that others have to endure on a daily basis when they lose somebody to death. I feel like it's important for people to get help. And that is what I'm doing. I have chosen to seek out a psychologist, a grief counselor to help me with this. Maybe they'll help me with other things that maybe I haven't recovered from that I don't know about, like abandonment issues or something. But I want people who have never had to experience the death of a loved one to understand a little bit more about what goes on in the minds of people who have. Because we don't want to be alone. We subconsciously push people out, especially if you're very independent like me. We have a tendency to get angry at people who don't deserve to be mad at. And it just happens because we don't acknowledge that the sadness that's stemming inside or starting inside us isn't coming from somebody who is dead. We assume that it's got to be coming from somebody who is alive and in our lives, and it's usually the people closest to us. I have some amazing friends who've put up with my shit, and they still show this endless love for me. They are supportive and kind, and they remind me every day that I'm worth being loved, that I'm not a bad human, even if others have made me feel like I am somehow. And I love you guys for that. I love you so much for being my backbone when I feel like I don't have one. I don't want to keep dragging it on. I just want people who are in a position where they feel depressed or sad or lonely to know that you're not alone. You are loved by so many people. So many people need you in this life. So many people need you to smile. Your kindness. They need you to know that you're loved. And your love starts within yourself, for yourself. Find things that you love to do and do them every day. Gym is a daily thing for me because it keeps me focused in one area. It makes me think in the now. Same thing with yoga, same thing with riding dirt bikes, which I really need to go do because my dirt bike is just sitting there. And if you feel sad, that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to go to people you love and tell them that you need help. It's okay to go to a psychologist and tell them you need help. These people exist to help you. And I know that I'm not alone, even if I feel super alone right now. Because my friends have made it their priority to remind me every day that they love me. And that's what we need. So if you're somebody who is a friend of somebody experiencing grief, then please be there for them. Remind them that they're loved every day. Remind them, because that's all they need. They don't need you to be a superhero. They don't need you to be some person who can bring back the dead. They don't need you to solve their problems. They just need a little reminder that they are loved. Thank you, guys.